Welcome to sunny St. George, Utah. I'm George Johnson, the Bonanza Man from Greensboro, North Carolina. But today we're in St. George, Utah to show you a beautiful 1981 Bonanza A36TC. This is a great little airplane that has fantastic avionics. It has tip tanks. It has a turbocharger with an intercooler. It'll fly out of high altitude airports like this, and it's a fantastic value. Come learn about this airplane with me today. 888 Juliet Papa has about 3,095 hours total time since new, no damage history, and is in very good condition. The engine has about 1,260 hours since firewall forward major overhaul back in 2000. This engine has Millennium cylinders on it, Garmin fuel injectors, and it has the TurboFlight intercooler system that allows you to pull a couple extra inches of manifold pressure and keeps the temperatures nicer inside the engine. So since the overhaul, this airplane has not had a cylinder off. November 888 Juliet Papa has the Osborne 20-gallon each tip tanks. This gives you a total of 114 gallons of usable fuel in the airplane with full fuel. Now with everything full, you can still carry 516 pounds in the cabin with 114 gallons of fuel on board. Now if you fuel the main tanks, which are 74 gallons, that means that you can put about 756 pounds of people and baggage in the airplane with normal full fuel for a Bonanza. But this gives you a range with these tip tanks of over 1,000 miles and allows you to fly high and stay there for a while, since this is a turbocharged airplane. And that's what it's meant to do. Let's take a look at this beautiful engine. You'll notice it has a superior Millennium cylinders with Garmin fuel injectors and a beautiful baffle system. Now let's take a look at the interior of 888 Juliet Pop. You'll notice the airplane has the big double cargo doors of the A36. And you'll also see that the owner has removed the 5th and 6th seat. He does have the 5th and 6th seats, and they're covered in the same beautiful leather that the rest of the airplane has. And the interior is in good condition. There are headset plug-ins for the passengers in the back, a total of 5 in the airplane, and then you have oxygen mask plug-ins for 6 passengers because it has built-in oxygen. Now join me in the cockpit of 888 Juliet Papa to see some really nice avionics. 888 Juliet Papa has a great avionics panel. Let's start with the autopilot. The airplane has the King KFC 200 autopilot flight director slaved HSI system. Just to the right of this is your number 2 nav indicator, and you'll notice that it has glide slope, so the airplane has 2 glide slope indicators. And then we have a WX-10A storm scope for weather avoidance. At the top of the pilot's panel, you have a JPI EDM 700 graphic engine monitor to monitor your cylinders and your turbine inlet temperatures. Then over here you have your standard airspeed indicator and your artificial horizon, which houses your flight director from the autopilot. You'll notice when I push the button on the control wheel, the flight director comes up. Then we have your encoding altimeter, and above this equipment is your avionics annunciator and your DME. This has a KN63 DME with NAV1 and NAV2 switching and DME hold. Moving down here we have your turn coordinator and then your King KCS 55A slaved HSI system. And this is a switching panel for your autopilot. The GPS in this airplane is equipped with WAS, so you have some extra annunciators on the panel. In the center of the panel, all of your engine indications are located. You'll notice your manifold pressure and fuel flow gauge, and this airplane has a digital tachometer. If you push this, you'll notice the total time on the airplane since new is 3,095 hours. And then we have your standard engine instruments, cylinder head temperature, oil temperature, amps, and oil pressure. And then your fuel flow gauges. Down below this we have a standard turbine inlet temperature gauge, and this is a new gauge because this airplane has the TurboFlight intercooler system, which allows you to pull a couple extra inches of manifold pressure and more power. To the right of this, we have your fuel indications for your tip tanks. And this airplane has the 20-gallon each Osborne tip tanks that increases the range of the airplane and also the gross weight. Now let's take a look at this gorgeous avionics stack. Starting at the top, we have the Garmin GMA 340 audio panel with your 3-light marker beacon system and built-in intercom system. Below this, we have a multifunction display. This is the Garmin Mx 20 system. This has IFR and VFR maps. It has a GPS. It also has your XM satellite weather, the GDL69 that's installed in the airplane that will show up here. What a great system. Below this is your #1 NavCom and your GPS, and this is a relatively new Garmin 530W, which means it has WAS. This has several different nav pages that you can use, and of course we're not getting GPS in the hangar, so we're not getting everything that you should get, but you'll notice that we're on the ground, so your terrain page shows red, and this has all of your frequency pages and that sort of thing, and your satellites. In the hangar, we're still getting a few satellites, even though the doors are almost closed, so it's doing pretty good for an airplane in the hangar. Great little GPS. And that's your different nav pages. Below this, we have your #2 NavCom. This is a King KX 155 NavCom. And this has dual switches for both your nav and your com. Over here on your far right hand panel, you have this JPI 450 digital fuel flow system. And this airplane has a lot of extra fuel, so this allows you to keep up with it in an organized way. Below this, we have a relatively new Garmin 327 transponder. Below the transponder, we have a PS Engineering AM/FM CD player system that plays through your headsets, and actually this system cuts out so that you can hear ATC if ATC is talking to the pilot. You'll notice the airplane is equipped with rose and sun visors, which are very nice, and in addition to this, it comes with 2 Bose headsets, which are very expensive. Now let's take a look at the pilot's control wheel. Over here on the left side of the control wheel, in the front, we have a mic button, and then we have an autopilot disconnect button on the top, and a go-around button to put your flight director in about a 10-degree nose-up attitude after an IFR approach when you need to go around. Then we have an electric trim switch. In the center, we have your control wheel clock, and this clock serves as a timer for timing and approaches, and you can even use it as a stopwatch. On the right-hand side of the control wheel, we have a map light, and this map light will come on down here below so that it doesn't interfere with the pilot's eyes. It also puts a light in your compass and your outside air temperature gauge. And then on the top of the control wheel, we have a control wheel steering button for your autopilot. If you're interested in a nice turbocharged Bonanza, you need to come see 888 Juliet Papa. You can fly into Las Vegas and have a nice leisurely drive to St. George, Utah to see the owner and visit this airplane. So it's not hard to do. This airplane has great equipment. It has a King KFC 200 autopilot flight director slaved HSI system. It has an MX20 multifunction display with terrain and weather. It has a storm scope. It has a Garmin 530W with WAS. It has a JPI EDM 700 graphic engine monitor. It has a turbo intercooler system. It has built-in oxygen. What a fantastic airplane. And you can own this airplane for only $179,000, and that includes our Bonanza School. Give us a call at Carolina Aircraft, Greensboro, North Carolina, 336-665-0300, or visit our website, carolinaaircraft.com, to learn more about this airplane, or schedule an appointment to come see it in person. Have a great day.